The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, RBZ in bracket, has disbursed ZIG 46 million in notes and coins to the banks, with the financial institutions only releasing 30% to the market amid a cash crisis, it has been revealed. So what does it tell you? It tells you that on the side of the government released 46 million in notes and in coins to the banks, to the institutions. And these institutions has only released but 30%, not even up to 70%, but 30%. That is to say that the banks or the institutions are hodling 70% of the money. Then on the side of the government is busy arresting for illegal forest traders, which on one side is good, without knowing that the banks or the institutions are the ones that are causing the problem or delaying the proper circulation of the new money. So now that it has been reviewed, it is only normal that people will be expecting that the government should take a strong stand against such banks or such institutions who are guilty of such crime, who has been frustrating the efforts of the government by hindering the circulation of this money by only releasing 30% of the notes and coins made available to them. On April 5th, the ZIG was introduced to replace the Zimbabwean dollar after the former was heavily battered by inflation, rendering it worthless. Notes and coins began circulating on April 30th. So the money was launched on the 5th, but it only started circulating on the 30th, which is not even right in the first place. Because if the money was launched on the 5th, latest by 6th, the money was supposed to start circulating into the market. Because when they launched this money, they encouraged people to start trading with this money. But it is only more than 3 weeks later that the money started circulating, which is already wrong from the side of the government and the institutions. Responding to the questions about the scarcity of ZIG at the inaugural Capital Markets Conference, which ended yesterday in Yanga, Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Deputy Minister David Manyanga was at pains to address these concerns. I did raise concern with the governor about the issue around fear of money not circulating, and indeed he showed us his dashboard of the amount of notes that has gone to the banks, Mangama said. But we went further and asked how much have the banks released to the markets, and this where the joke is. They have only released 30% of the monies they have been given by the RBZ, and what then happens after that is now outside of the RBZ control. No, it's not outside your people's control. It is the duty of the government to hold these institutions accountable, because the institutions, or less the people in this same government, some of them are part of the problems, or some of them are the ones controlling these institutions or that owns these banks. But if they are not part of this dismay or this problem that is hindering the circulation of this money, the government or the people in the government of Zimbabwe must do whatever it takes to hold these institutions accountable and make them pay for the sufferings of the average Zimbabweans in the street. So you find that most of the fiat money circulates in the normal sector, but the notes are with the banks only, who only transact with the formal sector. Maybe it's going to be gradual. So this is not acceptable. It is unacceptable to average Zimbabweans. This is unfair to them. Their government must do whatever it takes to hold these banks accountable, to hold these institutions accountable, not just the illegal forest traders. Over 85% of transactions are being conducted in the United States dollars. So tell me, how is Zimbabwe supposed to win this fight? By making sure that this new money stabilizes. Even after launching the money on the 5th of April, the money started circulating on the 30th, and even the 46 million ZIG that was released to the institutions, they only released 30% of it, and even up to now, 85% of the transactions are still done in the United States dollar. So if the government really want to win this fight, the government must do whatever it takes to bring these banks that are guilty of such crime, these institutions that are frustrating their efforts to book, and take measures to regulate these banks and institutions that such things don't keep reoccurring. That is the only way they will win this fight, that their ZIG will stay or be stabilized once and for all, and they will win the fight against trading in US dollars.